Hi, Mark Swartz, writing for DemocraCycle.ca. One of the nonprofits I represent is the Mosaic Institute, and their motto is dismantling prejudice. I was driving by here in, sorry, where am I exactly?
You're in Kingston.
Kingston, Nova Scotia, not far from beautiful downtown Wilmot. And I came by the sign, which I'll point to in just a moment. A woman, let me try this one more time because it's very emotional. There's a big poster on a house here. It's of a young man who is about 20 years old, and it basically refers to his suicide and his depression, clinical depression. And I, as somebody who have clinical depression, that really touched me, and I thought it was a very brave act. So I just came in to pay my respects, and now I'm just going to have a quick chat about the prejudice against people who have some sort of difference in terms of mental illness. So, with me today, I have, what is your name? Sorry.
Laura Fowler.
Laura Fowler. Laura, first of all, you're showing up there? Good. Okay, great.
I am.
So, your son's name is?
Jackson.
Jackson. So, Jackson took his own life in 2015.
Correct.
Okay, and he was close to 20 years old.
He was over 20.
He was over 20.
20 that February.
Okay. And you as well, you shared with me that you have a form of clinical depression.
Yes.
Okay.
I was born with it.
And okay.
I was 7 when I first tried suicide.
That's shocking. On the poster, there's a phrase that really caught my eye. And what is that phrase?
Share the love, not the hate.
So let's talk about that. What prompted you to write that particular phrase?
Mainly because there's not enough love in the world. There's more hate in the world. There's more selfishness than selflessness in the world. So it seemed like the proper thing to write when it came to if we shared more love with each other, we'd have less depression.
Fair enough. Now,
And we'd have less fighting. We'd have less hate. We need to come together as a humanity, as a people, and reconnect with each other because we are all connected to each other. And the only way to do that is through love. Love is the key. How many songs are out there about love? Right?
quite a few.
Right? Shall I, quote John Lennon or something? But you know what? When you seriously think about it, to have absolute peace is what we all want. Love is the way to do it. Love is the way to do it. So share the love, not the hate. There's so many, and that's what has been going on and with the kids today is they're fighting with their identities and they have no connection to each other because they're all on this or on this, and there's none of this. Like, total stranger comes to my door. What do I do? Yeah, come on in.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Right?
Welcoming me. Yeah, that was
that's how I grew up. Like, kind of thing. You gotta, when you have that connection with people, and you can show that, hey, I don't know you, but I love you. That means the world to somebody. Anybody. I've gone up to people that they looked really unhappy, and I'm walking by and I say hi, and then say, can I give you a hug? And they're like, okay. And then all of a sudden they're crying, but they're like, thank you, I needed that. Like, share the love, man. Is it so hard?
Have you, or did your son experience prejudice because of your condition?
I grew up in a small town, so I made my name myself, and I'm as far as I know, well respected in my town. And he got labeled because of disabilities. Gets labeled with depression, you get labeled with dyslexia, you get labeled with short-term memory damage, memory loss, things like that. When you start getting labeled, people start looking like you've got the plague. Labels
Right.
got to stop, okay?
Okay.
my son learned to embrace all the stuff he had, but I mean, it is still a constant. It's a constant turmoil to constantly try to fight what people are saying about you, right?
Right.
Yeah. And labeling you, like he wanted to join the military, he couldn't. He wanted to get his gun license. They said, well, no, you suffer from depression. We're gonna have to put you with the police registry. Like we wanted to go shooting together, right? It's not like we weren't gonna go together. Things like that. There were so many restrictions because of his labels.
Yeah.
Right? And his depression and the other labels, that it made it hard for him to see a future for himself. So I told him, I said, you know what, buddy? I said, don't worry about it. I said, we're going to buy some land. We're going to build a campground, because he was a great survivalist. I said, you're going to show kids how to survive in the woods, like teach them how to start fires, things like that. And you know what? It'll be yours and Chanel's legacy, that you will have this business of your own. Because he wanted to be a forest ranger too, but he couldn't without school, and
so
he only
nice.
had grade 9 education. So, right, because the school failed him. So, you know, here's a 20-year-old guy who has all these big dreams and things he wants to do, and he knows he can do it, but then he's got all these restrictions of people saying, oh, no, you can't. You're this, that. You're this, that.
Right.
Has nothing to do with the, you know, it's a label. Let's stop labeling everybody. Let's stop putting labels on everything. Let's be a little equal here. Okay, so you have that. Great, me too. You know, like, because most people, they have the same stuff, and, you know, it's, share the love, man.
Okay. Well, so what I want to say, and just quickly wrapping up, is I personally felt symptoms of something was changing within me. My mood was changing. I had a flatness of mood, whereas I used to be really happy-go-lucky. I used to read a novel a week. I stopped reading entirely, and I was in my, 1993 is when I first felt that something was drastically changing. Fortunately, I reached out. My father also had mental illness, and it basically ultimately ruined his life. So I vowed that if I ever felt something like that, I would reach out for help. And so if you or anybody else that if you recognize symptoms, I'd really urge you to, you get help. You get help for your loved one, and hopefully avoid tragedy. Laura, my heart goes out to you, and thank you so much for sharing today. And
Just, you know,
where am
hey.
I? Yeah, okay, I'm a little off balance here,
That's
but
okay.
that's the way it is.
okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.